Morning, ma'am, behind the scenes.
Morning.
You ready for a little adventure this morning?
Yeah, doing something new, huh?
We're gonna do something new.
Yeah.
See if this works.
All right.
Hopefully. I think that's enough hopefully. Hopefully it works.
Kind of like vacation.
Oh, God. All right, we are back over here at camp this morning, and we got some potential weather moving in. Hopefully we can get this plowed in. We had this job scheduled once and it got canceled because it rained.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get this in before the rain hits this morning. But we're going to put in a new power service to our camp. And you guys are going to have to bear with me here a little bit. Keep in mind, whenever all this was put in, it was put in over 30 years ago. And this looked completely different. There was trees, and this was all a slough down through here. There was 7 acres out here in the middle of this field we didn't own at the time. It was a lot different. Actually, the road was actually on the other side of the ditch at that time, believe it or not. Yeah, lots changed in 30 years.
Yeah.
But here is the fight we fight. Is, I don't know, do you think that shows up on camera how much lower the main power line on the road is versus the power line going back to camp?
Might show. There's a big difference there.
Or there's about maybe 13, 14 feet difference. Yeah. So this high voltage power line that goes back to camp, which runs down this ditch, and it actually cuts across and goes through the field on the other side and ends up at camp, which whenever it was put in was the most realistic way to get there. I know it's hard to believe, but whenever it floods, the water actually gets high enough, it gets into that power line, which is a very, very dangerous situation.
Mm-hmm.
So the power company actually comes out and pulls the fuse, cuts it down. But the other problem is people boat up and down through here. They still got a wire hanging out there where they can boat right into it, even though it's dead, which is just not a great scenario.
No. So
what we are gonna do is try to plow a high voltage power line. They're gonna come off this pole right here. Now we own all this field and we can go straight on through it. We're gonna try to come off that pole right there, plow straight across the field to the camp. We're gonna set a pole over there, put the transformer up on the pole so it stays out of the floodwaters, come back down the pole and then go feed our service. Think that'll work?
Oh yeah, that's gonna work.
It's 1,700 feet across there. And we got to maintain 42 inches of depth. Now, power company should be here in a little bit. One thing we are going to do is we're not going to plow the actual wire. We are actually going to plow a piece of conduit, and they're going to come back and pull the wire through the conduit. They want to see how the plow does with the conduit. I have no concerns with it whatsoever. I think it's going to be not an issue, period. They want to see how the plow does with the conduit. If that works well in the future, we may try just plowing straight wire in, but they're paying for the wire and the conduit, so
yeah,
I'll let them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if this works, we can get from point A to point B with minimal mess, minimal disturbance in the field, because the other option would be coming in here and digging or trenching. That'd be a long ways to trench.
Yeah, that would be.
Holy cow. Yeah, so that all makes sense. All right, next thing. I do not have dual antennas on the tile plow. I've only got a single antenna, and I'm gonna try to explain this. Hopefully it makes sense. If we had, so we are able to survey and install pipe using a single antenna because we don't do it at the same time. So basically, whenever I survey my way back, I'm using that antenna to tell the GPS where the ground is. And then whenever I go plowing pipe the other way, it basically plows an offset to what it knows the ground is. So it knows the ground's 3 foot something, it plows 3 foot off and go on down through there. I could survey this down through here, but we don't want to get this on grade. We just want to maintain the depth. And I can't set an offset because I don't have an active antenna to tell me where the plow is versus where the ground is, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. That's a whole lot of gibberish. Long story short, I don't have a second antenna, and we can't do a 42-inch offset from the ground, and I can't survey this line because it's not on grade, and we don't really care about grade. But have no fear, we have old school.
Yes, we do.
All right, so the way they used to do tile way back in the day, and some guys still even do this today, especially if you're running uphill, we still do that, is what they call a drag chain. So this chain hangs off this bar off to the side, and whatever the distance is from here to the ground is how deep you're in the ground. So basically we're going to set this drag chain at 42 inches, and it needs to be dragging the ground.
So I'm getting close.
You're close. You're real close.
Yeah.
Man, if we just had something bright to put on there so I can see it.
Don't worry about that.
That'll work. That'll work.
Right here.
I think that's the whole reason why we got those. Actually,
Yep.
somebody sent those to us.
They sent them to us for this reason. And it was your favorite color, pink.
So as long as our pink thingies are dragging the ground, that means we are code in our area for a high voltage power line is 42 inches. So we need to be 42 inches in the ground, and the power company is pretty anal about that. So look at that.
I might have to go up just a little bit.
Well, I think that's fine. It'll be
well, this side here, you're right at 42.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit lower.
I think that'll work.
Think that'll
Yeah,
work?
I'll go up one more. Let's just make sure I'll never be too deep and not deep enough.
Yes. So let's go up right here. Put it right there. Now we'll make sure the one that's hanging down a little lower.
Well,
Is that 42? Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So that's got.
That's dead nuts.
Yes. Dead nuts.
Like it. All right. So
That's gonna be our.
that's our depth marker.
Yep.
All right. We do have a few small obstacles we need to cross. That's our power company. Let me take it real quick. All right, guys. We made this absolute contraption this morning. What we're trying to do is we want to put warning tape in with the conduit, and the conduit warning tape is supposed to be 12 to 18 inches above it. So basically, in theory, if you're out here digging willy-nilly, you'll hit the tape before you hit the power line and possibly save your life. So what we're thinking is we're going to zip tie this guy right here. Like, look at that. We just like made that meant to be. We're going to zip tie that guy right there. I think we can hang our roll of tape right there. Probably going to feed it down through the boot. Maybe come out this slot, go through there, and then hopefully it'll lay.
Yeah.
Hope that extra drag of that tape don't slow me down.
You never know. We'll find out. If I need to pull you, I know why.
It's the tape.
It's the tape.
It's the tape. Well, you want to zip tie that off. I'm gonna get just a regular little caution tape real quick, and we'll see if it works. You gotta like kick it one time and say, I ain't going nowhere.
Oh, no. I'm so scared. Okay.
Oh, just like that, a couple extra zip ties, we are good to go, buddy.
Yes, we are.
All right, instead of being Stretch Armstrong and trying to reach that, we're gonna go ahead and dig our start hole over there and get this plow dropped down on the ground. I gotta see if I can remember how to switch buckets on the 235. I think this is the first actual paying job for the 235. Oh, she smells so new. So one thing that's different about this new machine is it's got an extra safety on it. I gotta hold this button down over here, if you can see my left hand, to get the coupler to work. I understand the safety aspect of it, but it is a little bit cumbersome to do that. But sure beats not having a quick attach. So we're gonna get this swung around, put our 2-foot smooth face bucket on. Come on, baby. Nice and easy does it. There we go. All right, we got an 8-inch tile line right about there. We should be well above it. But we're gonna take it nice and easy and make sure we are. Okay, got our start hole dug. That's the good news. Did not hit anything. The bad news is it is starting to rain, and this whole field is covered in about 2 inches of that river mud, which is just some nasty, nasty, slick stuff. So be interesting to see how the plow does, but there's one way to find out. We had a little unexpected rain shower that's not helping our cause.
Sucks.
Yeah, big time. All right, we got our tape dispenser on. We got our tape in it. We got our conduit. What I didn't realize is this conduit already has the high voltage wire in it.
Yes.
The wire is already in the conduit.
Yeah, so there ain't nothing they got to do once it's rammed.
We didn't video it because we were going through the plow. It wasn't horrible, but it took a little finagling to get it through the plow. Our biggest concern at this point is tile is corrugated and it grabs onto the dirt and holds itself in place. This stuff is slick and we cannot pull it down the trench.
So hopefully after we get a good ways, the weight of the dirt falling back down.
Well, and we've got it
yeah, we got it tied off.
Hopefully I don't have too much power to pull that power pole over on top of it.
Yeah.
You ready?
All right. So far, so good. Everything's good besides traction.
All right, guys, this seems to be working fine. We got this like 2 inches of river mud on top of the ground, and it is just absolutely slimy, slick, nasty stuff, and we just can't quite get enough traction to do what we need to do. So we're gonna hook the 235 to it and just give us that little bit of extra oomph. Man, behind the scenes got you a brand new tow vehicle here.
Yeah,
you ready to see what she'll do? All right, we're all hitched up. Everything seemed to work just fine that first little bit. Here we go again. guys, we're going. Our tape's feeding, wire's going in, air is pulling. Depth gauge is plenty deep. Well, once we got up here on the high ground, we get a little more traction. We started making some time, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Our
Moving along good now.
yeah, we're moving along real nice. Power company's happy with everything. Even our tape is feeding through there nice.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of worried about, is that tape, but it's doing good.
It's doing good. All right, we got to keep going. The rain is still a-coming. Making some unbelievably good time. We're still getting along pretty good though.
Use fiber optic down here? Oh, you do? Oh, take care of Barry. I ain't gonna tell you where it's at.
Did you hit that wire before you headed it out?
Huh? Oh no, I like it when he does that.
There's still going.
Right.
Once there's still light down here, what's the whole thing?
I guarantee it. That's right. Deep worms, deep No, he'll get down. I can go a couple more drags through.
Well, we found the fiber. It is right down there. The good news is it's actually deep enough. We're going to try to plow right across the top of it. So we cut us a nice little lead in here. You ready to see what happens?
I'm ready. Yeah.
All right. I'm
gonna
put these guys down in the hole, and if we get ready to hit the fiber, I need them to scream really loud.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be 2 months before we hear them, but.
Let's go ahead and go a little more. I think you're looking pretty good. There you go. That's looking really good. You're, like I said, about 4 inches over the top of it. Yeah, you can go down a little bit if you want, like that. Good right there. Yeah, you're looking good. You're plenty high, plenty high.
a success. We're gonna get this road backfilled here so they can get their trucks across, get it packed back in, and then we were gonna plow the secondary in, but it's not in conduit. We hit a little bit of rock here at the end, so I think we're gonna try to just dig it in the old-fashioned way. It's only about 200 feet, so pretty short run compared to this one. Okay, got the road somewhat put back together. Aaron's gonna try to scrounge up a little bit of gravel off the driveway here and put just a little bit of rock. We don't have a whole lot of rock around here, so at least that'll allow everybody to get in and out, hopefully. So what we just put in is what they call the primary. That is basically high voltage. There's going to be a pole there with a transformer, and then it's going to step down to low voltage, and we got to run the low voltage line from the meter pole to this transformer pole. I had no idea. I kind of sort of remember way back in the day, this is before my excavating days, they buried an old barn foundation back here. I guess this is where they put it at. We found it. I'm gonna clean up what rocks we can. We're gonna start over by the pole, dig back this way. Then that secondary wire and this primary wire will both go up the pole. So, should be good enough for now. Let's track over here. See what we got. So this one being lower voltage, don't have to be as deep. This wire only has to be about 30 inches deep, not 42. And that's a minimum depth, so we have basically made it to what's the other end, and right here where we got to do all of our tedious
with that one.
right here we got to do all of our tedious work at, there is literally a buried pile of trash. We're going to gently try to locate that pipe on down through there. Some of these nicer rocks I'm saving. I use them for some landscaping. You can tell, beautiful digging, beautiful dirt. We get right here where we have to do tedious stuff and a whole bunch of crap. But here's our line going down. We're gonna see if we can follow it back, bring it over into this trench. I think we'll be good. Well, Aaron and I went to take lunch. We got back just in time to see the old pole go in.
Take it back a little bit and go swing out.
I told you we didn't need any fancy lasers or anything. All we need is a shovel.
Yep.
Works perfect.
Max has got it down.
Max has got it figured out.
Yep.
All right.
You want to rake it a little bit for the can? Straight up and down. We got your what? Come back. Here, let me grab. This is your shovel. And then a little bit is too high. That's a lot. Oh, fill it up. We're done with this, right?
We got one naked pole.
Yeah, we do. Now,
Look at these
that's
guys
all it was.
these guys
Got it.
being resourceful, trying to reuse the conduit.
The guy pushing it don't have nothing to do with it.
It's all about the guy feeding, right? Good thing you didn't miss arm.
Now let's see the muscles work.
Good thing you didn't miss arm day.
He's getting it right now. Alright, let us know when you need a break.
On the other side, right?
Almost there, I promise.
I can hear it.
You are getting pretty good ways down there. It's about right here.
You're only 20 more foot. Yeah, I'll get down in there. We could always cut a little bit off of it. If you wiggle it, can you tell how far up it is?
It's about right there where it goes over that little dirt clod.
So we got another 20 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Here. You'll need a break? Alright, we're going to cut it back there. Okay?
It's right in here somewhere. Right there somewhere. Almost had it.
Pushed it all the way.
Yeah. Hit that dirt clod. If you wouldn't hit that dirt clod, you'd been fine.
Started that uphill climb.
Yeah.
Lay down there. Have to bend it this way. There you go.
Oh my.
Oh,
That was pretty close gas, wasn't it?
Closest within a couple inches.
Travis, take a break. Hey, I meant, let go. Hold on. Oh God, here we go. I can't move with you standing on my foot. There's no guy up there pushing it in. Hold on, here we go.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
This is what here. Who needs a plow? We got each other. Well, I think he's pushing on it now.
It's all me.
No.
Secondary is in. We did put it in conduit up there. That's what they were pushing through. We went through that little bit of trash. Down through here, we're in good dirt, all direct burial. We're going to come through, put about a foot of dirt on top of all this, put our warning tape in, and then backfill it the rest of the way while they're getting all their wires and everything up that pole. So. Well, man, behind the scenes, it's a good thing the old service is coming out because I just got a head start on taking it out for them.
You did? Well, that's 2 electrical accidents today. One on you, one on me.
Did you tell them about yours?
No, I wasn't going to tell them.
I think mine is not going to cost us any money at all.
No, it ain't.
Yours, on the other hand,
It costs us a little bit.
borderline insurance thing.
cost HR a little bit.
Whenever HR says, what's this for? I'm gonna put ask Aaron.
No. Don't do that.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. All right, they just about got this completely done. We got transformer set, got the wires up the pole. It's looking good.
Yeah, it is.
Aaron's getting the last little bit pushed in around the pole there. The guys are getting it wired up. So what they're working on right there is basically the termination of the primary coming in. So it'll come out of the top, then it'll go over to what they got. It basically is a knife blade switch. It's basically a fuse holder, but it's got a solid knife blade in it. That'll feed the transformer, which will step it down from whatever it is to 110 or 220. And it'll drop down the secondary, go over and feed our major meter over there. So it's working out perfectly. They're making the last few final connections on this end here. They'll still have to go over there and tie the secondary into that pole over there that I was nice enough to disconnect for them. But like I said, the power's dead coming in here. I think we're going to run out of time today with the weather we had this morning. We lost about an hour and a half to the rain, and there's a lot more on the way. Before that next round of rain hits, we're going to track out to the road and get our start hole filled in so it don't fill up with water. At least get the wire started up the pole. That way they can pretty much come in here in any conditions and finish everything up. So we're close. It's going good. All right, hopefully you can see out there, the wire just kind of goes up the pole and terminates. There's actually been some storms that hit the other part of their service area, so they're out. Off to chase some power outages. We're gonna get this backfilled right here. So whenever it rains, it don't fill in with water. Then we're gonna have to wait for another day to get the power on, unfortunately. Well, it's not finished, but
yeah,
we ran out of time. Somebody's in a hurry to get out of here. Guess we're gonna have to go fix. You want to talk about it yet?
What the heck happened to the ants?
What
Whenever
happened?
I gave it to you, the ants were on it.
Nice try, buddy.
Oh, that's what's laying in the dash up there.
Oh yeah, there's the rest of it up there.
Well, what happened? Well, then, Richard, what'd you do?
You know what? We'll let them comment down below and try to guess what happened. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Man, look at Bubba Dump over there. Don't it look like it's ready to go to work?
Man.
Tomorrow might be the day.
Yeah.
See what those tires are made of. We should have used it to pull the plow today. I'm just curious how it would have done.
Yeah, I am too.
All right, we'll be back at some point. We're pretty much useless at this point. It's down to the power company to basically everything in between's done. They just gotta get the two ends hooked up and then tear the old wire down. So yeah, stay tuned.
All right.
It is a couple days later. Due to weather and scheduling, I wasn't able to be here. The power company got pushed off a couple days, but they did show up today and got everything hooked up for us. You guys can see the new fuse right there coming down and feeds the new line we plowed in, which is sending it over to camp. They tell me it's hooked up back there and turned on, so let's go to the other end, see what we got. Hopefully everything comes back to life. All right guys, we are over here at camp. Right here is where they went up the pole, basically hooked into what used to be the overhead going that way. The reason why they went up and cut back down like that is we got to keep all this up out of the flood. They are responsible to right here to the meter. We are responsible for the meter down. This breaker panel did go underneath water, but it was only underneath water for a short period of time, and I got down here immediately and got it cleaned out. So I'm hoping everything is still good. We're going to, well, I'll be done. That breaker is actually on. Flip that breaker on. This one here should be the pump. So as soon as I flip this, hopefully water comes out of that spigot. Look at that, we got water. Good deal. All right, so this should be Mom's cabin. That should be Grandma's cabin. Let's go see if we got any lights over here. All right, cabin number 1. Oh, I see lights on the stove. Oh, we have actual lights. That's good. I wonder if we can get some actual AC going in this thing. Oh, look at that, it's on too. Nope, we do not need heat. Hot dog. Look at that. We got water in this joint. We got water. Whoops. Don't want to put water in the salt. That's not very smart. Sorry, Mom. Just checking. All right. I guess cabin's good to go. I don't hear any leaks. See anything unusual? Sweet. All right, cabin number 2 is a little bit of a jungle gym to get into, but we'll find our way up through here. Oh, I see lights on the refrigerator. Look at that. Hot dog. Close that up. Turn the AC on because it is blasting hot in here. Sweet. We are off to the races. Let's go to the bathroom, see if we got water. There is stuff in every sink. Looks like water to me. Hot dog. We're in business. Last but not least, look at that. Power line is gone. For you guys that don't remember, the power line used to come right down through here, went up over that hill, and then it went back to that transformer pole back there. Be nice having all those poles out of here and just make it a lot easier to mow, maintain, and more importantly, it'll be a lot safer when the water comes up because you don't have to worry about the power line getting into the water. But look at this. One of the guys that works for the power company is a big Let's Dig 18 fan, so he was nice enough to put save for Let's Dig 18 on the pole. What are we gonna do with him? What are we gonna do with him? All right, guys, that is a wrap on this project. I believe that's everything we need down here. We're gonna start hauling equipment out and get ready for the next one. But I think the power line boys were pretty impressed with the way the plow worked for putting that line in. As I was talking with them, a situation like this where we had no obstacles to cross, actually we did have the one fiber optic line, but it was right at the end. It worked great. If there was something out here in the middle of the field we had to go under, it would not work so well because there's no way to cut and splice that wire easily. So in the right situation, it's definitely a tool for the job. But we'll see if any more opportunities pop up for us. But we did prove the concept, or proof of concept, that it will work. So all right, it's late. I'm heading to the house. Later. If your travels take you through southern Indiana or just looking for a unique destination, everybody is always welcome here at the world famous Derby Market and the home headquarters of the Dirt Perfect operation. No guarantees you'll catch Aaron or myself, but feel free to take all the pictures you like. Just for obvious reasons, please don't climb on or in any of the equipment. And most importantly, please tag us on all the social platforms, including the Derby Market. Before you head out, take a quick trip inside, look around, and locate the Dirt Perfect Visitors Map. Be sure you pin the location you traveled from and enter the Dirt Perfect Visitors drawing for a chance to win some Dirt Perfect merch. As always, guys, thank you for watching and supporting this channel. It means the world, and we shall catch you on the next one.